Hi guys, welcome to Shawn Watson Davis TV. If you would, please hit the subscribe button, the like button, leave a comment, and share this video. Today I have the honor and privilege to sit with my pastor, Reverend Lila R. Martin. In honor of Women's History Month, she has agreed to sit with me in that she is the first female pastor of our church, Trinity AME Church of Lansing, Michigan. And I am so excited that she has agreed to sit with me and to share her story. And I'm excited to learn more about her story. So, Pastor, I want to thank you. Thank you for agreeing to do this with me today.
Sure.
Let's start right from the beginning. Where were you born? To whom were you born? How many siblings are in your peck? And just tell us about your childhood, where it all began.
Well, I was born in Rockingham, North Carolina. My parents are Albert Martin and Roberta Little Martin. I am the 11th of 13 children. That's from 2 marriages. Both of them prior to marrying each other were married before. And let's see, I was born there. All my schooling took place in Rockingham until I went off to college. I went to Bennett College in Greensboro, North Carolina. And then I went to Garrett Evangelical Theological Seminary in Evanston, Illinois, prior to coming here. And I came here to Michigan, living first in Detroit, Michigan, where I got my start at St. Stephen AME Church under Bishop John E. Hunter. He was the pastor of St. Stephen at the time. So that's how I got to Michigan. My ministry, pastoral ministry, began in 1988. My first church was Cary Chapel, Monroe. And from Cary Chapel, Monroe.
And where was that located?
Monroe, Michigan. Cary Chapel
Mm-hmm.
was located in Monroe, Michigan.
Okay.
And I served there for 3 years. And then all of this I did while I continued to serve at St. Stephen as their assistant pastor. I served as the assistant pastor, but my first pastoral charge was Cary Chapel, Monroe in 1988, but I was still at St. Stephen.
In Detroit?
In St. Stephen in Detroit, yes.
Okay.
Cary Chapel is in Monroe.
Okay.
And from Monroe, I was moved to Grace Chapel in Detroit. Grace Chapel in Detroit. And then from Grace Chapel to Vincent Chapel in Clinton Township. Yeah, Vincent Chapel in Clinton Township. From there to Newman, Pontiac. And from Newman, Pontiac, in 2011, I came here to Trinity.
Okay.
And so that's kind of, in a nutshell, my history, my background, so to speak.
Okay. So going back, you're one of 11.
One of 13.
One of 13 children. All right. And in your...
I'm the 11th of 13.
Okay, you're the 11th of 13. Got
Yeah.
it. And in the household that you were raised in, there were how many children in that household?
let's see. Oh, how many? Well, it's hard to say how many was in that household. Because obviously I have older brothers and sisters, and I'm trying to remember how many was at home, and when they were in and out, back and forth. So yeah,
right.
So
I'm trying to get an understanding because you were saying that the 13 is a composite of your father's children and your mother's children,
yes,
right?
Yes.
And so I'm trying to get a feel for where were you
together. They had 6.
Okay, together they had 6.
Yes.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
So within the 6, where did you fall?
I was. Let's see. The 4th.
You were the 4th.
I was the 4th child. Yes.
Got it. Okay.
4th of the 6. Yes.
Got it.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So, tell me, when were you first drawn to ministry? Yes. How did that happen? Were there any other ministers in your family or anything?
No, not out of my siblings, or neither my parents, nor my grandparents. Let's see. It's a strange thing. I was telling someone just the other day that growing up, I grew up Baptist, and we always. My father was a deacon in the church, and my mother a deaconess, and but growing up, because we were always at everything, Sunday school, BTU, and all of that, that when I became of age, I was one of the children chosen to represent the church at the various conventions, what they call Chautauquas and what have you, at that time. And I was always pushed to speak up and to be out front and represent, but I never liked it. I never liked it, and I always thought, wow, I'm never gonna like this,
right,
or do this kind of thing, be a public speaker or anything like that.
Well, what made them want to push you up front if you didn't have that extroverted personality? Or did you have that extroverted personality, but on the inside you were more quiet?
I'm not sure. But one of the things growing up in my our household was that if you were told to do something, you did it.
Got it.
It was no, I cannot, and that was instilled in us that you may be, but you did it because you were told to do it, and you were trained that way from the beginning. Even though I'm shaking and what have you, still do, but because there's that I do. But I never acknowledged the call to ministry until I was actually just in it. It just happened. I went to seminary. I got a job as director of Christian education, and at St. Stephen, Detroit. That's how I started. And Bishop Hunter.
What brought you to Detroit?
The job, director of Christian education at St. Stephen. And when I came, let me tell you this, when I came for the interview, Bishop Hunter said to me, he said, "Daughter, are you sure you're in the right field, doing the right thing?" And I said, yes. I never wanted to be a preacher. I grew up Baptist, and that wasn't something a woman did.
Got
and
it.
So, and he said to me, He said, okay. He said, I promise I would never try to tell anyone they were called to ministry. He walked away. He stopped, turned around, said, daughter, God's got his hand in your life.
Wow.
And he said, now leave that alone. And when I came back I came back to Detroit and was living, and I guess I've been here about 6 months, because I came in October, and this was April, the first part of April, the week of Easter, the day after, Monday after Easter. And I walked into his office. He was getting ready to go to what we call district conference. And I spoke to him that morning, and I said, well, when this is over, I knew he was getting ready to go to that Monday morning. And I said, I want to talk to you about something. He said, oh, no, you want to talk to me now. Come on in. I know what you want. And we're going to start this process right now.
Wow. Amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's how it all started.
So this minister just saw, people really just saw this in you and developed it in you. And clearly the Lord was in agreement with it. It was the plan.
Yes, apparently.
Yeah.
Yes. Apparently.
It was
yeah.
just the plan.
Yes.
Wow. So when you were in North Carolina, you interviewed for the job in Detroit.
No, I was not in North Carolina at the time. I was in seminary, finishing up seminary. I was living in Evanston, Illinois.
Okay.
I was in seminary, yeah.
Got it. All right, beautiful. Well, in terms of your journey in ministry, have you run into any opposition? Clearly this particular man who said, daughter, God's hands are on you, he clearly was someone who didn't have a problem with God having his hands on you. But in your journey, I'm certain that you have encountered those that were not so happy about your presence in ministry. Can you tell us about that? Without naming names. You don't have to name names, but just because in every journey, there are always, as they say now, haters, right? There are always people who play that oppositional role, and it's a part of the story. And so as a woman breaking ground in ministry, I just wonder, what are your stories with respect to opposers?
I have many, but I'm not sure I would term them as haters, because some people really are convinced that women shouldn't do certain things. And then if you're a Black woman, that's a double whammy, if you will.
Sure.
I have had oppositions, even in the church. I've had oppositions, of course. One church I went to, one of the ladies, older ladies, I guess I would call her one of the mothers of the church, said, oh my goodness, they done desecrated our pulpit. She said,
and this was a woman.
This was from a woman, an older woman, a mature woman, a mother of the
that's
church,
part of the
that
story.
They had desecrated. Because I say, it's kind of funny, but I say that because every church where I've been appointed to as the pastor, I was the first. I've been the first woman pastor that they've had. But
so that means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times you've been the first.
The pastor,
to pastor the church.
Yes.
Because you were the assistant in Detroit.
At St. Stephen, yes.
Yes. And then the other 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 locations.
Yes.
You've been the first every time.
It's 5, yes.
Which is, again, a phenomenal, amazing thing that I did not know. And that's the beauty of conversations.
Okay.
That's the beauty. Okay, so continue on with respect to the opposers that you have experienced in your journey and navigation as a pastor.
Some of the things is that some would, I guess some of the brothers had a problem with me as at first they didn't want to give me a pastorate, and so 1 year before I became a pastor, I ran for delegate to the General Conference. And what the discipline stated at the time, what it stated was that in order to run for, you have to be an itinerant minister.
Okay.
In other words, you have to be ordained and itinerant.
Okay.
And you have to
Which means what? What does that mean?
That you have received your full ordination. First you're ordained deacon, and then you're ordained itinerant, meaning that you travel. You go where the bishop sends you.
Got it.
And it said you had to be an itinerant minister and have traveled for 5 years. Well, I had been ordained an elder since 83, and so I ran for a delegate, and I guess I lost by 3 votes.
Okay.
3 votes. I lost by 3 votes.
Okay.
And they kept having a runoff between this other minister and me. And the final, he won by 3 votes. So
all right,
it was just the 2 of us. He won by 3 votes.
Okay, fair and square, right?
I guess it was fair and square. They said somebody, couple of the older gentlemen came to me, and I won't call their name, but whispered to me, "You got read out."
Okay.
And I'll leave that there. I'll leave that there. But anyway, several of them said, "Well, why are you running? You gonna hurt your pastor?" I said, "No, my pastor said I could run, and he said I could run if that's what I wanted to do, run." And I did. But see, and they said, "But you're not a pastor." And I said, "That's not my fault. I'm ordained." And they won't give me a church or offer me a church. And they wouldn't. And so that's why. And so that next November I got appointed to a church. And the strangeness of it all was that I had been away. I worked full time at St. Stephen as the assistant, and I had been away for some kind of workshop, a workshop that it was on a Thursday. I had been away on that Wednesday for a workshop. It was there in the city, but I was out of my office for this workshop. When I got back Thursday morning to my office, on my desk was my appointment to my first church, to Cary Chapel. It was on my desk. The elder had come and left it on my desk. Didn't ask me, didn't tell me, just left the appointment on my desk.
What a beautiful surprise.
On my desk, that I was appointed to this church.
How did you feel?
I was surprised, and so of course I called, and he said, "Well, Miss So-and-so will meet you, and just call Miss So-and-so." He gave me Miss So-and-so's number, and I called her, and we talked, and she said, well, she'd be there on Sunday to let me in. This was Thursday. Sunday I had to go.
Always a ram in the bush
and
to
find
help
the church,
you,
to find the church,
to help you get where you needed to go.
Always. And she was very helpful. She was very helpful.
Fabulous.
She was very helpful with me the whole time I was there, the whole 3 years.
Now, do you think that appointment would have happened had you not run?
Probably not. Probably not. Probably not. But I think they saw that I was willing to serve. Willing to serve.
Exactly.
Fearful, but still willing.
Exactly.
Willing to serve.
Exactly.
And I was doing the reading and hey, this is what it says. So, hey, why not?
Absolutely.
Let's see what this is all about.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And what I love about the sharing of this particular part of your story is that, again, we don't always, quote, win the contest.
Right.
But we win when we champion over our fears.
Yes.
We do what we want to do. We say, fear, you're not going to stop me. Yes, you're here, but you're not going to stop me. And because you put yourself out there, that gave more people exposure to you and who you were. And that allowed for someone to say, hey, I'm going to position her here.
Yes. Well, I always believe that it's not me, but I always try to follow the leading. God's leading.
The God within.
Yes. The God within.
Yes.
God's leading, and because it's up to me, I'll sit back and
right.
just let things happen, let things go. But no, it was something within that caused me to do that. So yeah.
Absolutely. And I think all of the times that you were asked and required to do all of those things in your youth helped prepare you, again, to serve.
Yes.
And to move forward.
Yes.
So in keeping then with the stories of the opposers, what do you recommend that women know and do in terms of what do you have to say to us as women about what we should do despite the opposers?
Well, if there is, one of the things I've learned over the years and through it all is that if God has something in store for you, if God is leading you and guiding you and directing you, God makes the way for you. If you follow his lead, do things when he tells you to do them, it will get done. It will make a difference. Sometimes we get ahead of God and try to do things on our own, and that's when we make a mess of it. But when you follow him and allow him in his timing, some things have happened, and I thought, well, I'm being overlooked. And one thing that God made clear, it's not your time. It's not your time.
So trust the process.
Trust the process. When it's your time, it will happen. And I've also seen that what is for you, that song they sing, what is for you, it is for you. Or what is for me, it is for me. That's true. That's true. That God makes all things possible. Sometimes we want things to happen when it's not time for it. Or it's not what God wants for you. But when you follow God, you have joy, you have peace, you have all of that right there in front of you. And all you have to do is be obedient and follow the plan, his plan, not yours, but his plan. Because my plan is totally different from his. I can tell you that. It's totally different. There are some things I would do if it was my plan, but that's not his plan.
What would you be doing?
I'd rather not say. I'd rather not
Would you
say.
be up on stage?
No, oh no, never. I wouldn't be up on stage.
Singing, dancing?
No, I would never be up. No. I'm still shy. Oh, no, that's not, no. Oh, no. No.
And talk to us about the shyness, because One Sunday you were talking and you shared with us that you really were a shy person. And I was touched by that because I too have a shyness within me.
Mm-hmm.
And it's admirable when people are shy and yet they push through to do things that they are called to do from within.
Mm-hmm.
So tell me about that. I mean, what's your message to people who are dealing with shyness?
Again, and it seems contrite or what have you, but again, it's about trusting the process, trusting God with everything, with everything. It's keeping your eyes on Him, allowing Him to guide you and direct you in everything that you do, every step. Every time I have to get up before people, I'm turning it over to God. So, okay, God, use me. Let me. That's why I pray. Lord, let the words of your servant's mouth, the meditation of your servant's heart, be acceptable in your sight. That's why I pray that before I preach, because it's important that God get the glory, not me, but God. And I know if I allow Him, and I have to make sure that I prepare before I get to that point. I can't just get up there and pray that, but I have to have done some work prior to that. I have to have prepared so that there is something there for me to lean on. And for Him to use.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So
if you are a shy person and yet the God within is calling you to do things that require you to push through your shyness and to do it anyway.
Yes.
You recommend that you trust the calling.
Yes.
That is within you.
Trust it. Yes. Trust Him. Trust Him. Otherwise, don't do it on your own. Don't go out there, what they say, on your own, or you'll be like Peter, walking on the water, then, help! Then you're going to have to cry help.
Exactly.
Yes.
Well, you are a phenomenal woman, and we are so fortunate here at Trinity AME Church in Lansing, Michigan, to have you. Your story is a beautiful unfolding of the family, your church family back at home, training you. And I think that is one of the beautiful things about church, is that it does do a beautiful job of training its youth. And so I thank those who were in your life who required you to do certain things that allowed you to develop your leadership and your ability to move beyond your shyness and to still stand there and do and say what needed to be done and what needed to be said.
Yes.
So again, I want to thank you. I want to thank the viewers for tuning in to Shawn Watson Davis TV. Another reminder to please hit the subscribe button, the like button, leave a comment, and share this video. And happy Women's History Month. Thanks so much for tuning in.
Thank you.
Bye now.
Thank you.